ऑल आर योगा प्रैक्टिशनर्स। और अगर हम देखें तो योगा में सबको पता है क्या बेनिफिट्स होते हैं। I think everyone knows about if you do meditation, it improves your mindfulness, it improves your awareness, it improves your attention, your concentration. तो ये हमें भी पता है। Pranic flow improve होता है। If you do practice asana, you will be cured. आपकी body, your body will be completely healthy. तो ये बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट हमें क्लियर रहता है बिकॉज वी नो फ्रॉम द लिटरेचर, जो हमने फिलॉसफी में बुक्स पढ़ी हैं उनमें बिल्कुल क्लियरली डिफाइंड रहता है। And if we look at in today's scenario, if we talk all these things कि कपालभाति कीजिए इससे ये बेनिफिट हो जाएगा, नाड़ी शोधन कीजिए तो आपका तनाव कम हो जाएगा, तो मेरे ख्याल से इस जनरल कॉन्सेप्ट को सभी लोग जानते हैं आज, और वो इतने इफेक्टिव नहीं पड़ते जब हम उसको किसी एविडेंस के साथ कनेक्ट ना करें। तो being a yoga researcher, being a yoga student, being a yoga scholar, our responsibility is to investigate how these yoga practices are working, how these yoga practices are making changes at the physical level, at the mental level, at the science, at the neuroscientific level, at the subtle level, at the causal level. You have to understand each phenomena. But if you look at today's scenario, research keep on happening in India, in outside world. There are so many people are doing research today. But when we talk about yoga research, we have to follow some systematic pattern, some systematic guideline. We have to follow some systematic guidelines. जब हम रिसर्च की बात करते हैं, it's a systematic investigation. It's not like a discovery. It's not like an innovation. Yeah, maybe discovery, somebody may discover some unique yoga concept in future. But right now, हमारे पास इतना ज़्यादा knowledge है, इतना ज़्यादा rich literature है, Asian literature की, उसको scientifically evaluate करना अभी तक हमारे पास possibility में methodology से तक develop नहीं हो पाए। तो अभी हमारे पास बहुत लंबी जर्नी है इस योगा रिसर्च को करने के लिए। तो जो आज मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ इसमें वर्कशॉप में बताने के लिए, वो मेनली टॉकिंग अबाउट द न्यूरोसाइंस, द फिजियोलॉजी एंड हाउ योगा प्रैक्टिसेस आर इम्पैक्टिंग ऑन मेंटल हेल्थ। मेंटल हेल्थ मीन्स इज ऑल द मेंटल प्रोसेसेस। यू कैन नॉट सेग्रीगेट ऑल दीज थिंग्स हैज टू गो टुगेदर। जहाँ न्यूरोसाइंस की बात करेंगे वहाँ फिजियोलॉजी भी साथ में चलेगी, जहाँ फिजियोलॉजी की बात करेंगे वहाँ मेंटल हेल्थ भी साथ में चलेगा। हम किसी भी योगा प्रैक्टिस को पर्टिकुलरली हम सिर्फ न्यूरोसाइंस से नहीं कर सकते। This slide, which is talking the entire research process, a cycle of evaluating something new, which is not yet explored, right? So we are going step by step. So first and foremost, important point to get the idea. How to get the idea? Most of the time, what happened when we wanted to do research, we get influenced by somebody else who is doing the research. कोई अगर काम कर रहा है किसी रिसर्च पर, तो हमें लगता है कोई इसी से रिलेटेड कुछ काम करे। लेकिन जब बात करते हैं हम कि वो आइडिया कैसे आएगा, वो आइडिया अपने आप से पूछे which topic we want the best और which topic we know the best। अगर हमें जो ऑलरेडी हमारा इंटरेस्टेड एरिया है उसको ही हम रिसर्च क्वेश्चन में डिफाइन करें, तो सबसे जरूरी है we should have the basic understanding about the yoga philosophy, the books or the literature, the rich literature which is given the concept of yoga since ages together. If you look at last 6,000 years, people keep on working on this section of yoga, but still if you look at the beneficial effect of yoga is not getting explored very much. तो हमें सबसे पहले जरूरी है अपने लिटरेचर को जानना, अपनी फिलॉसफी को जानना। उसके बाद जो इंटरेस्टेड एरिया है, if I am very much good in Shat Karma, I can use one of the idea how Shat Karma practice or any specific practice are impacting on my health, right? So we have to get one idea based on our own interest. Never ask your idea from your friends, teacher कि मुझे कोई टॉपिक दीजिए, मुझे कुछ ऐसा तो बता दीजिए जिससे मैं अपनी पीएचडी पूरी कर लिया, मैं मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम कर लूँ। It should come from within. Once we have the idea, like for example, how Nari Shuddhi are improving our memory. I'm just giving you an idea. सो अभी ये एक आइडिया है कि नाड़ी शुद्धि से हमारा मेमोरी या एंजाइटी कैसे कम होता है और मेमोरी कैसे इंप्रूव होता है. तो हम क्या करें, नाउ वी हैव टू गो फॉर द लिटरेचर रिव्यू. व्हाट बुक्स आर टेलिंग अबाउट, व्हाट साइंटिफिक रिसोर्सेज आर टेलिंग अबाउट, चाहे वो पबमेड हो, चाहे वो स्कोपस हो, चाहे वो वेब ऑफ साइंस हो. यू हैव टू गो डिफरेंट डेटाबेसेस and find out the relevant research related to your area. Then we move toward the redefine your idea, formulate your hypothesis, then preparing your research design, followed by the collecting data, organizing your data analysis, which is a very well structured procedure. After data analysis, we go for the interpretation of the results, then we prepare the report or manuscript, and then we submit to the journal or the agency or the university for the taking further steps, and then we get the feedback or certificate or publications. So this entire process is very systematically defined in the research cycle, in the research process. Now, how yoga research should continue? Because yoga research now, if you look at in today's sense of yoga, yoga is not just gathering the information of something. It's just not doing something which is already available. We have to come up with some unique idea. I have given an example of effect of knowledge Shuddhi on anxiety and memory. Do you think that people have not done that on this? अगर आप जाके देखेंगे तो लिटरेचर में आपको ऑलरेडी कुछ ना कुछ लिटरेचर मिल जाएगा, चाहे वो एशियन हो, चाहे वो साइंटिफिक हो, चाहे वो आपके डे टू डे लाइफ में हो. ये सारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग अवेलेबल है. अगर आप इसको रीडिफाइन करना चाहते हैं, then you have to go little bit more deeper to work on associated memory or to work on generalized anxiety disorder or state anxiety, how trait anxiety. So you can go and bifurcate and go dig into the topic. Earlier you were just looking at the memory, now you are going into more deeper to look at the research memory, long-term memory, short-term memory, generalized anxiety, state anxiety, or so many other types of bifurcations are there, like spatial memory, verbal memory. So you can dig into it, you can look at how knowledge is impacting on all those different factors. So instead of just repeating the earlier one, you can come up with a unique idea of the existing knowledge which is already available. So we have to come up with something beyond the basics. Because true research is not just gathering information, because it is already written in the scriptures, or simplifying, rearranging knowledge of facts about yoga. आज लेवल इसलिए पीछे मोबाइल में शायद हर कोई जानता भी योगा के बेनिफिट्स क्या होते हैं. लेकिन we have to dig into and continue to understand and elaborate the unexplored areas. So research must actively, we have to push our learning. अगर किसी ने मेमोरी पे काम किया है, एंजाइटी पे काम किया है, knowledge शुद्धि का इफेक्ट, we can take some other intervention. Okay, what intensity of knowledge शुद्धि people have given? Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. How many rounds they have given in 1 minute? Why don't we change the intensity? What are the they have given in literature, they have given some kinds of ratios. Don't we need to standardize those ratios? If I practice this much ratio, how much impacting it is, whether it is 60% or 70% changes in the anxiety level or not? If I am increasing the dose or increasing the intensity, how it is impacting? So such a ways we have come up with the unique ideas to standardize, like a doctor. They know which time you have to take the medicine, how much dose you have to take it, what should the frequency, and how many days after you are supposed to report. How do they come to know all these things? Because of rigorous research people have done on that particular indication. Similarly, we have to follow the same pattern and we have to come up with a similar kind of idea of developing some kind of modules. So any one specific practice you can take it up and you can do the research. आपको बहुत सारी practice लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, बहुत बड़ा laboratory लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. You can start your research with a small limited space, but the idea should be unique. Idea should be rational, with the doable, with the experimental. And then once you start and pushing your limited boundaries, and then you can start thinking something new to do in your research work. And last is about the objective, not a sales pitch. Actually, what happened nowadays, People are trying to develop a module and they are trying to build it to yoga for back pain, yoga for arthritis, yoga for some other conditions. So nowadays, our studies are mainly focusing on to remove the symptoms. They are not looking at the cause, like modern medicine is talking about. So studies should aim the benefits of yoga as a whole. You should include a proper method of understanding. If you give only one practice, it's not only going to impact only on your nervous system, it may be impacting on your endocrine system, it may be impacting on your cardiovascular system. So we should develop a methodology to collect information from each practice as a whole, as a system. So we need to understand yoga as a whole practice, which may work on at the physical level, at the mental level, at the social level, and spiritual gain automatically it will come when we are practicing over a period of time. आज हम ज़्यादा कोशिश करते हैं कि इंस्टीट्यूशन में एक स्पेसिफिक योगा प्रैक्टिसेस हम डेवलप कर लेते हैं, कोई यूनिक कुछ नया नाम देकर के हम योगा प्रैक्टिस को डेवलप कर लेते हैं और हम वी आर अट्रैक्टेड टुवर्ड्स those things. Sometimes it may be beneficial but may not be beneficial for everyone. There are so many limitations in each yoga practices. अगर आप देखेंगे बहुत सारे लोगों ने अपनी खुद के सेल्फ प्रैक्टिसेस डिफाइन की हैं, बट वो प्रैक्टिसेस कई बार हर किसी के लिए लाभकारी नहीं होती. So attracting those small modules may be attractive people, but it may not give you a proper results. And we have seen in the research, these practices may be useful for some particular function, some particular activity in the body. So we need an authentic research to expand our knowledge, to deeper understanding about yoga. It doesn't need any marketing. Your marketing will automatically be done because, as you know today, yoga is celebrating as an international day of yoga. Why? Because yoga has shown the beneficial effect to the humanity. So if you look at, because philosophy was available 6,000 years ago, if you look at the Ayurveda, they also have a rich amount of knowledge, literature. But yoga has a tremendous amount of scientific evidences which people have done, and I'm going to talk those evidences in upcoming slides. So true research, yoga research, is a quest for knowledge. It is a quest which has to bring a new question from the available answers. So where one answer we are getting from one research, a new research question should arise from that particular point of time. From that particular point of end point of the earlier research, earlier findings. Then we can come up with the good ideas. So in yoga research today, if you look at, people are heavily working on disease-oriented yoga practices. They are looking at the symptoms and they are defining the yoga module. If it is a back pain, go for the yoga class. They go for some specific set of back pain practices. But yoga has to be combined with the diet, has to combine with the breathing, has to combine with some other practices. So instead of going for the specific practices for curing the disease, we have to develop an evidence-based science where all the practices has to be combined together. And basic research has to be done before implementing to the, if you look at Bhujangasana, very less researchers. If you look at Kapalabhati, very less researchers, though it is impacting a lot at a physical level, at the mental level, at your pranic level. But wherever studies, very less studies are available. So now the path forward requires authentic inquiry and embodied practice. And the major lacuna in our research, yoga research, we don't get experienced people who, because sometimes we give them training, but I don't know how much they got experience, how much deeply they go and continue the practice, and how much deeply it is changing in their internal pattern. That's kind of studies need to be taken here, because yoga is somehow developing our deeper experiences than we just merely yoga practice and we do for the sake of developing the module. So now this deeper understanding is missing so far from the yoga research that has to be included. So now the paradigm has to checking what the earlier researchers is talking about and how to shift our attention from fundamental concept of yoga, the basic concept of yoga or the basic research which are available, converting it into the translational science, we have to convert to the utilize as an innovative science. Innovative methods we have to utilize. Sometimes we have to use some kind of gadgets to assess the physiology in the day-to-day life. Because if I see most of the studies, what they do, they call people on the center and they give them practice over a period of time. And after the study, they go back to their own society. And again, they will build up a lot of problems. So we have to give the solution in their day-to-day life. That's the shift of attention back to the fundamental concept of yoga and innovative methods to unravel its secret. We should also get some lot of funding to understand the basic concept, the basic idea, how yoga practices are improving verbal memory, the verbal concept, how the brain structure, how the understanding about the brain, verbal words, how these words are going to be stored and which region of the brain is going to be affected. ऐसी स्टडीज को आज हमें इनकरेज करना चाहिए, जहाँ पर हम थोड़ा, कई बार क्या होता है, हम सोचते हैं कि अगर हमारा ये EEG हो तो हम we can do good research, but it's not correct. We have so many psychological tools, neuropsychological tools, psychometric tools which you can use to understand the brain network. You can use to understand the alert state of mind. You can use to understand the attention network. That's why attention network test is there. You can get the information about the alerting, orienting, and focused attention. So all these things you can get from one of the questionnaires. Psychometric tool. Even or any kind of mental health you can assess by psychological or psychometric tools. If you get the good results from those tools, then you can propose to go and more deeper to look at the utilizing the combining with fMRI or EEG, because already you have the background work, the concept, the publication on your work which is scientifically accepted. तो इसलिए हमें योगा रिसर्च को थोड़ा सा चेंज करना चाहिए. आज जो हम बात कर रहे हैं योगा रिसर्च के बारे में, ट्रू योगा रिसर्च रिक्वायर्स डीपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द सिस्टम. हर सिस्टम का एक यूनिक रोल है हमारे बॉडी में. हाउ these systems are getting rejuvenated, how the structure of the body is bringing back the pattern of their activities, like a breathing practice. It slows down when we practice yoga. Naturally, you can grow if you sit for some time. If you are continuously practicing yoga over a period of time, or after some time, if you sit quietly, automatically your breathing rate goes to this narrow, very shallow, and you may reach to there 3 to 4 breaths per minute. आप 3 से 4 breaths per minute तक पहुँच सकते हैं अगर आप रेगुलर योगा अभ्यास. Maybe not possible for normal people. वो जरूरी कई बार नहीं होता. तो इसलिए we should understand the deeper system. हमारे जो बॉडी के सिस्टम्स हैं उनको समझना पड़ेगा. हम उसके बाद जाए उसकी क्यूरिंग के लिए. तो क्यूरिंग के लिए हम कितनी इंटेंसिटी, कितनी फ्रीक्वेंसी, कितना ड्यूरेशन, हर एक प्रैक्टिस का होना चाहिए, उसको फिर मॉडिफाई करें. अगर आप देखेंगे तो फार्मास्यूटिकल रिसर्च टुडे दे आर trying to develop a bundle drug कि एक ड्रग दिस प्रॉब्लम हैज टू रिजॉल्व, एक ड्रग से कैंसर रिजॉल्व हो जाए, एक ड्रग से ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाए. दे ट्राइंग टू doing a competition to develop the new drugs which for the new diseases, but they are facing lot of challenges. अगर ये हो जाता तो शायद डायबिटीज खत्म हो गई होती, आर्थराइटिस खत्म हो गया होता, बैक पेन खत्म हो गया होता. It is still increasing day by day. अगर देखें तो डायबिटीज के केसेस बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. कोई भी ऐसी कंडीशन बताइए जहाँ पर आपके केसेस और उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी कम हो रही है. Mental health issues increasing day by day. Suicidal ideation is increasing day by day. Young students are doing suicide, want to do wonders. We just want to regularize the internal activities of the body. So first we need to understand the system, not really just treating the symptoms. Symptoms treat अपने आप हो जाते हैं when you do long breathing, deep breathing. Automatically anxiety will come down, your lung capacity will increase. Though it was not your part of your research, but it is going to impact on those system also. इसलिए आज हमें योगा रिसर्च के लिए बहुत नए पैराडाइम को डिफाइन करने की जरूरत है। अगर हम देखें 6000 साल पहले वेरी वेल रिटन कि योगा करने से आपका मन शांत होता है, योगा से टॉकिंग अबाउट yoga is a technique to calm down the mind, to relax the mind. He's talking about the Maharishi Patanjali. He's talking about how to gain mastery over the mind. Yoga is chitta prati nirodha. Then we go for the Tadadrashti Sarupi Avasthana. We apni sthiti mein aave. But who wants that? Right now we want to get healthy body, healthy mind. That's the running. We have to run behind. But mind is playing a major role. That's what they have for. If you look at the entire philosophy of yoga, they only talk about how to control the mind. Whether it is the concept of abhyasa vairagya for the advanced practitioner, kriya yoga for the intermediate practitioner, or ashtanga yoga for the beginners. The concept is saying to control the mind, to tranquil the mind, this state of equilibrium. So if you look at how to bring it down, unless you don't understand the internal system, understanding how it is bringing down, calming down the mind is very difficult. Therefore, it is already written, but now we have to develop a new paradigm. And when we talk about yoga research, sometimes we feel that yoga is something to experience. आप एक किनारे नदी के किनारे बैठ जाएंगे, शांत मन में चले जाएंगे, शांत जगह पे चले जाएंगे, लेकिन अपने घर में शांत रूम में चले जाएंगे. Just close your eyes. Don't get up and practice without distraction. Sometimes पता ही नहीं चलता कि 1 घंटा, 1.5 घंटा, 2 घंटा कैसे है. If you are really experienced, you are really trying to enjoy the deeper level of your awareness. That deeper self-realization only can be experienced when you practice it. Books में लिखा हुआ है calming the mind, but you don't understand unless we don't practice it. We don't close our eyes, slow down the chatting of our mind, the turbulence of our mind. जब तक हम इसको कंट्रोल नहीं करते तब तक वो नहीं आता. But why do so? तो कहीं भी कर सकते, क्यों हमें करना फिर रिसर्च? What is the purpose of doing experimentation? Because आप एक व्यक्ति को लैब में लाओगे, उसके ऊपर पूरे सेंसर्स लगाओगे. Do you want to do that person has to do medication? आपको लगता है वो मेडिटेशन कर पाएगा? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But लेकिन जो deep meditators होते हैं, जो long-term practitioners होते हैं, they demonstrated that when they put in any place, even in the mid of the road, they can get into the state of meditation without any fraction of seconds. How does such kind of ability can be developed? So that, if that kind of person is there, so if the place, if all the gadgets are not going to make any interference in the deeper meditators, in long-term meditators, as a long-term practitioner. Because all kinds of obstructions you can relieve from your mind once you are getting the mastery of it. And one thing is about experimentation is also very much important to bring out the evidence. Experience, so many yogis have experienced this yoga and they have written the book. But how many people are, still we are facing a lot of challenges. Yoga is from India, but if you look at the global perspective, अगर आप पूरे विश्व में देखें, सबसे ज़्यादा mental health issues इंडिया में हैं, सबसे ज़्यादा suicide इंडिया में होती है, सबसे ज़्यादा diabetic people इंडिया में है, कैंसर इंडिया का सबसे major issue है, cardiovascular disease इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा issue है, any non-communicable disease या communicable disease India is suffering. We have such a rich amount of knowledge about yoga, about Ayurveda, but still we could not able to follow. So it's a time to demonstrate by doing research, because yoga, when you do scientific investigation, it makes it socially relevant. सोसाइटी उसको एक्सेप्ट करती है, इसीलिए आज इंटरनेशनल लेवल क्योंकि आज हमारे पास एविडेंस है, हमारे पास साइंटिफिक डेटा है, हमारे पास साइंटिफिक रिजल्ट्स हैं जिसको हमने पब्लिश किया है. And these publications are talking about the yoga research. But if you look at the global perspective of the research, you all are research scholars, we all should know. Condition क्या है? When I was doing my research in yoga, in yoga in 2014, you don't believe that time the research was around 7,000 to 8,000, 6,000 to 7,000 research paper was there. And after 10 years of after my PhD, still we are making only the 10,000 publication. If you look at the entire yoga research in the PubMed, today I have said, today's date I'm talking about. Today I just take a screenshot of this. कि जैसे आप योगा टर्म डालेंगे तो आपको सिर्फ 10,000 पब्लिकेशन मिलेंगे PubMed. The keyword of yoga. अगर वहीं पर आप एक्सरसाइज डालेंगे तो 6,65,000 publications, more than that publications are available. Where are we are way behind of the research. तो हमें इसको एक्सपीडाइट करने के लिए we have to हमें अपने आप पहले सबसे जरूरी है फंडामेंटल को समझना और उन फंडामेंटल को समझने के लिए उसको अप्लाई करना, अच्छे जर्नल में पब्लिश करना. अगर आप ट्रेंड देखेंगे तो अगर आप देखें यहाँ पर जो ग्राफ बना हुआ है, it is showing last 20 years, 30 years of data that most of the research has been done on this time. But if you look at the down one, they also show the same way. The most of the research are done in the last 50 years to 60 years. So exercise is showing 6 lakhs, more than 6 lakhs publication. Whereas yoga is only more to 10,000 publications, which is questionable now. Therefore, we have to come up with a new paradigm, new ideas. Instead of doing the repeated studies, duplicacy studies, जो पहले ऑलरेडी हो चुका है, उसी को हम बार-बार रिपीट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. हमें एक नए पैराडाइम को डेवलप करना बहुत जरूरी है. And this is the major stakeholder, major pillar of this work is research scholars. They have to come up with the ideas of different ideas. Now come to the research part. When we talk about the yoga research, if you look at the entire journey, we have today evidence of yoga asana, yogic pranayama, relaxation, meditation, yoga nidras. But still we could not be able to reach today in conclusion that कोई भी क्लियर नहीं हो सकता कि योगा से आपकी एंजाइटी कम हो सकती है. Confidently आज भी वो प्रश्न करते हैं because we don't have rigorous research. अगर आप देखिए नॉर्मल हेल्दी पीपल के ऊपर एंजाइटी के ऊपर कितने स्टडीज हुई हैं. एक नॉर्मल व्यक्ति भी एंजाइटी फेस करता है, उसके ऊपर कितने स्टडीज हुई. ज्यादातर एंजाइटी किसके ऊपर मेजर हुई है? कैंसर पेशेंट, डायबिटीज पेशेंट, बैक पेन पेशेंट, कोई ना कोई पेशेंट को डाल के हमने उसके एंजाइटी को कम करने की कोशिश करी. लेकिन व्हाट अबाउट द यंग हेल्दी स्टूडेंट, हेल्दी पीपल, दे आल्सो फेस द एंजाइटी. How do you find some favorites? So therefore, we have to come up with the ideas of new ideas to develop the new research work. If you look at the studies on yoga, most of the studies are showing when you do yoga asana, obviously it is going to sometime during the practice it may increase your sympathetic arousal because yoga increases the digestive fire. Yoga asana is particularly increasing the metabolic rate, your heart rate. But after yoga practice, you feel more relaxation than before yoga practice. There is one study I would like to quote here. एक स्टडी की थी हमने कि एक ग्रुप को हमने रनिंग कराया और दूसरे ग्रुप को हमने कपालभाति कराया. Obviously, both practices are going to be acting similar because when you do कपालभाति और when you do running, both are increasing the heart rate. आपका heart rate बढ़ता है, आपका blood rate बढ़ता है, आपका ब्लड प्रेशर बढ़ेगा, आपका मेटाबॉलिक रेट बढ़ेगा, एनर्जी एक्सपेंडिचर बढ़ेगा दोनों का कंडीशन में. लेकिन रनिंग करने के बाद यू फील फटीग, यू फील एग्जॉस्टेड, लैक्टिक एसिड एक्युमुलेशन विल बी हायर. On the other hand, when you do Kapalabhati, over a period of time, maybe internal system gets a little bit tired, little bit fatigued, but you never feel fatigue physically. After Kapalabhati, you feel more attentive, more relaxed. Why this kind of difference? The fatigue instead of, though the physiologically both are showing a similar output, but after the practice, Kapalabhati people showed more relaxation, showed better outcome in their cardiac autonomic parameters. Their lung capacity got increased. Their metabolic rate came normal very quickly, whereas running group showed longer time hyperactivity. Their stabilizer was slowed down. The internal system was slowed, it was recovering slowly, whereas yoga practitioners showed better recovery, enhanced recovery. So such kind of changes we have observed in yoga practitioner. When people are doing yoga asana and comparing with the exercise. Such kind of studies are encouraged to come up with the ideas of understanding of yogasana. Similarly, another study is showing that when regular practice of yoga can down-regulate your entire secretion of your endocrine system or neurohormones. So if you look at the entire HPA axis, hypothalamus, pituitary and adrenal axis, they all are trying to reduce your all the secretions which are bringing the arousal effect of the body. So yogasana is impacting a lot in the internal system to reduce the cortisol level because it's reducing your because the cortisol is less. As soon as the stress is going down, reducing the stress, cortisol secretion will go down, and people will feel more relaxed after asana. तो मैंने कई बार आप देखेंगे आसन करने के बाद में और आप एक तरफ जिम गए आसन करने के बाद में you feel more lightweight, more relaxed, more energetic. Why? Because it is impacting your in each and every cell of your system. तो हमें इसकी इम्पैक्ट को ना कि सिर्फ रिसर्च करना है, उसको एक्सपीरियंस करने जो एक्सपीरियंस हो रहा है उनको भी इवैल्यूएट करना है, उनको अपनी स्टडी के साथ में कनेक्ट करना है जो एक्सपीरियंस होता है. If you look at the brain, the regular yoga practice is another study was done, and it is a breakthrough study in the yoga in 2005. Sarah Lazar she has done, where she has seen the yoga practitioner's brain compared with the non-yoga practitioner's brain, or before and after. So they have taken the study of given the some kind of intervention for longer duration, and they've seen the brain matter area was increased, the hippocampal density was increased. Can you see increased green matter density in the hippocampus region? Hippocampus is a very important region for the limbic system. This is playing a major role in our behavior, and it also reducing your default mode network. What do you mean by default mode network? Generally, when we sit quietly, our mind goes to the some kind of default conditioning. वो कहीं ना कहीं चला जाता है, पता नहीं क्यों चलता है. भले हम पास में बैठे हों, मुझे कोई इंसिडेंट होगी तो मेरा माइंड बार-बार उसी तरफ चला जाता है, या कोई लॉन्ग टर्म पैटर्न हमारे ब्रेन के अंदर उस तरफ चला जाता है. So default mode network is also not good because it is taking away from your attention, your current attention, your present moment attention. It is taking your default mode network. So it can yoga practice can optimize, reduce that state of mind and keep you in the present moment for longer duration. That kind of behavior can be enhanced by yoga practice. If you look at yoga research, whatever research I told you about yoga asana, the journey of yoga research interestingly started in 1924. 1924, can you believe that yoga research started in 1924? जहाँ पर कवलानंद जी आपने कवलानंद आश्रम सुना होगा, जहाँ स्वामी कवलानंद जी ने वो आश्रम शुरू किया था, वहाँ पर योगा रिसर्च शुरू किया. This स्वामी कवलानंद आश्रम, कवलानंद आश्रम, and he started with journal. The same 1928 योग मीमांसा आज भी वो जर्नल अवेलेबल है. आप देखेंगे तो योग मीमांसा आज भी अब now slowly it is gaining popularity. And that time Swami Kavalananda started long term practitioners. क्योंकि पहले क्या होता कि long term practitioner बहुत सारे से मिल जाते थे और those who could able to keep state of समाधि, तो समाधि जो उस स्टेट तक पहुंच गए थे, जो कहते थे कि हम समाधि स्टेट को मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया है, उनको लेकर के स्वामी विवेकानंद स्वामी कवलानंद जी ने स्टडी शुरू करी. और उनका आज भी जाके देखेंगे स्वामी कवलानंद आश्रम में एक बरियर चैम्बर है, बरियर पिट है, जिसके अंदर वैक्यूम चैम्बर, उसके अंदर को रखते थे. Then they assess the lung capacity, the heart rate, the blood pressure, and all kinds of physiological management. So what they have interestingly observed, this is a study they have done in 1960. उसके बाद में लोगों ने इंटरेस्ट दिखाया योगा रिसर्च. अगर आप देखेंगे तो स्वामी कवलानंद जी ने कई सारे 10 से इक्विपमेंट मंगवाए और उन इक्विपमेंट को यूज करके उन्होंने बेसिक फंडामेंटल जो एक प्लेटफॉर्म होता है उस प्लेटफॉर्म को रेडी किया योगा रिसर्च करने के लिए. 1924 पता नहीं होता कि लोगों को. तो ये स्टडी जब शुरू हुई तो उन्होंने सबसे पहले योगिक फीड्स को लिया जो सिद्ध पुरुष थे. They found some people and they have done these studies and they have demonstrated, like Swami Rama, he also showed to people as he saw Yogi Satyamurti, he also demonstrated he was buried under the earth for 7 days because there was no oxygen, nothing, but after 7 days he came out alive. Till today we don't have any physiological mechanism to define the beneficial effect of yoga. B.K. Anand was there, Herbert Benson was there. So many, Richard Davidson is working on yoga practices. Like that, people are started flooding towards yoga research. Herbert Benson, he moved all the way from Nepal to Tibet, and he has seen, he has collected data among the Tibet monks, and they have seen that Tibet Buddhist monks, they could able to increase or decrease their body temperature 5 to 15 degree. Can you believe हमारा body temperature भी change नहीं हो सकता? अगर आप रेगिस्तान में जाएंगे और अगर आप अंटार्कटिका भी चले जाएंगे, जहाँ -40 डिग्री है, जहाँ 40 डिग्री से 50 डिग्री टेम्परेचर, दोनों जगह चले जाएंगे, बॉडी का टेम्परेचर मेंटेन रहता है. लेकिन but by just practicing of meditation, these Buddhist monks, they demonstrated to change their body temperature. They could even increase 5 to 15 degrees Celsius, which was a breakthrough in the entire research of human physiology. उसके बाद से लोगों ने इसका तो स्वामी रामा ने भी अपना demonstrate किया यूएस में. He was put in the vacuum chamber and he was able to stop his heartbeat for 1 hour. And then later they published in big journals. So now we know the benefits of extreme practices, the benefits of asana for one of these studies. So as traditional practice, or if you look at the Hariya Pradipika, it is mentioned that Sirsasana practice increases the inner fire. To increase the inner fire means it's increasing the digestive fire. It is one of the practice which usually should eat adequately to meet the increasing need because it is increasing the body demands. Why it is increasing? Because it is increasing the sympathetic arousal, sympathetic activity. And when body is getting aroused, whatever the metabolic rate is going on, normal healthy people is also increasing and it converts a lot of energy. हमारी internal energy को utilize करता है. इसलिए practice of Sirsasana is not only impacting your physical health, it is improving your digestive fire. There are so many neurochemical changes are happening in the Yogasana. One of the study by Steeler that अगर आप रेगुलर अभ्यास करते हैं तो आपके ब्रेन से कुछ ऐसे इनहिबिटरी ट्रांसमीटर निकलते हैं जो हमारे बिहेवियर को इम्प्रूव करते हैं. तो उन्होंने देखा कि गामा इम्यूनोब्यूटिक एसिड is an inhibitory transmitter which is increasing in the blood when people are regularly practicing yoga. Can you believe such kind of natural hormones are coming up? They are protecting our body. They are giving strength in our body. Along with that, there are so many other studies are showing that internal some hormones are increasing. Like there is a growth hormone which is increasing the vascular growth of your cells. So it will retain the rich blood supply to the body. ये एक बहुत important benefits है हमारे योगासना practice के लिए. Similarly, Bhujangasana has shown the improvement in the back muscles. It brings the flexibility. It not only brings the back muscles get strengthened, but also your lung capacity got increased. So these benefits can be translated into the clinical research. Can be translated to the people who are suffering from back pain or asthmatic condition or COPD, bronchitis. So Yogasana, first we need to understand how it is impacting on the internal system, and then we can translate into the research. Now come to the, if you look at some of the studies which was done in Vyasa long back, where they compared different yoga meditation practices. As we know, meditation means your mind is in one particular state, one particular flow. Tatra pratik tanta dhyana. Tanata matlab some specific state of mind. Right? That particular state of mind which is continuously, naturally flowing. That natural flow, what is happening in the brain? What is happening in the brain? Because very well written in the scripture, if you compare it with dharana state, that is called देशबद्ध चित्तस्य धारणा. हम किसी भी देश में, किसी भी वस्तु में, किसी भी स्थिति में, किसी भी स्थान पर अपनी एकाग्रता को जब एकत्रित करते हैं, देशबद्ध चित्तस्य धारणा, चित्त की वृत्तियों, चित्त को एक धार में लगा देते हैं, फोकस अटेंशन लगाते हैं, फोकस मेडिटेशन लगाते हैं, then we reach to the state of dharana. Dharana means focused meditation, focused attention on particular object, either maybe the Om or deity or any guru. Anybody can be. आपके गुरु हो सकते हैं, कोई ईश्वर हो सकते हैं जिसकी आप उपासना करते हैं, या कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट हो सकता है, या कोई भी सीक्रेट लेवल हो सकता है. तो जहाँ हम अटेंशन लगाते हैं, अपने अटेंशन को एक जगह पर लगाने की कोशिश करते हैं, वो धारणा स्टेट, नॉट ध्यान स्टेट. बट वंस यू फोकस ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर स्टेट फॉर सम टाइम, ऑटोमेटिकली दैट नेचुरल फ्लो विल कम स्टार्ट. अपने आप हमारे ब्रेन से हमारा मस्तिष्क, हमारा एकाग्रता अपने आप फ्लो होती है उस स्टेट के ऊपर. दैट्स व्हाई एफर्ट लेस स्टेट. जनरली धारणा इज एफर्टफुल. इसीलिए यहाँ पे देखेंगे ब्रह्म कुमारी राज हुआ, सब काइंड ऑफ breathing practices or mantra chanting practices, which increases the heart rate. Which increases the heart rate. Heart rate increase होगा, इसका मतलब something around body. That's what we observe. That's what we have seen. If you look at some other type of practitioner like effortless meditation, effortless activities, when you are in the state of flow of meditation, dhyana state, we are seeing the vasoconstriction, we are seeing the relaxation, we are seeing the body gets so much relaxed because you are not putting your attention. You are just in the funny flow of mind without putting the pressure, efforts. That's what effortless state is known as dhyana, and effortful state, that's what effortful state, dharana. Of studies in SVS where we have used evoked potential. Evoked potential one of the instrument है जिसमें हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं कि सेंसरी प्रोसेस करें. हाउ मेरे जो मान लीजिए मैं सुन रहा हूँ कोई चीज, वो जब सुन रहा हूँ तो वो कैसे काम करते हैं, वो सेंसरी प्रोसेस कैसे होकर ब्रेन से आता है. इन सेंसरी प्रोसेस को स्टडी करने के लिए वो पोटेंशियल को डिफाइन करें तो ये इलेक्ट्रिकल एक्टिविटी को मेजर करता है जो हमारे सेंसरी नर्वस सिस्टम से होते हुए हमारे ब्रेन तक पहुंचती है. तो हम इसमें क्या करते हैं कि हम कुछ इलेक्ट्रोड लगा करके और सेंसरी प्रोसेस को मेजर करते हैं कि ब्रेन स्टेम, मिड ब्रेन और सेरेब्रल कॉर्टेक्स, आपका सेरिब्रम, वहां तक इंफॉर्मेशन कैसे जा रही है और आपके ब्रेन से कैसे एक कंट्रोलिंग मैकेनिज्म डेवलप होकर के उसको कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश करिए और रिस्पॉन्ड करने की कोशिश करिए. आप चाहे ब्रह्म कुमारी करिए, चाहे विपश्यना करिए, चाहे हार्टफुलनेस करिए, चाहे सहज मान करिए, चाहे साइकिलिंग मेडिटेशन, हर किसी का एक ही गोल है, हाउ टू calm down the mind, how to enhance the inner potentials. Maybe one of the practices may not be useful for one person, but other practice may be useful. तो आप सारे जो जर्नी का देखेंगे तो ये सारे कॉन्सेप्ट आपके फिलॉसफी के कॉन्सेप्ट को मैच करने चाहिए. और हमने क्या देखा जब हमने देखे कि ब्रह्म कुमारी मेडिटेटर हो या ओम मेडिटेटर हो, दोनों के अंदर वी हैव सीन कि इंफॉर्मेशन जो प्रोसेस हो रही थी ब्रेन के अंदर वो कम समय में प्रोसेस, इट वाज गोइंग वेरी क्विकली. अगर कोई ब्रेन के अंदर प्रोसेस हो रही थी, जो नॉन मेडिटेशन जो मेडिटेटर्स थे उनके अंदर वो 10 सेकंड में, लेकिन मेडिटेटर्स के अंदर वो 7 सेकंड 6 सेकंड में ही प्रोसेस हो जाए. इसका मतलब आपकी इफिशिएंसी इन टर्म्स ऑफ न्यूरल इफिशिएंसी नॉट इंक्रीज. जो पहले 10 सेकंड में इंफॉर्मेशन लेके जा रहा था धीरे धीरे वो तब क्विकली इंफॉर्मेशन इज ट्रांसमिटेड कर गया. सो यू कुड बी एबल टू परफॉर्म बेटर, क्विकली एंड एक्यूरेटली. The efficiency of the neuron is also getting better. That's what we have observed. If you look at the results, medial and diencephalon region, the unnecessary information was filtered. This is called cochlear nerve. Is the auditory signals when we pass them. Auditory, so this is a result of auditory evoked potential. So we have given the signal tick 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 sound, and we evoked the brain when the person was doing meditation, when the person was in the resting state, and after meditation, how strong can inhibit the unnecessary information. And what we observed at the brainstem and midbrain could able to suppress all the information, reduce the unnecessary information. How does dissociative potentials develop? Because meditation is trying to reduce or is making your lower region of the brain to slow down all unnecessary activities in the body. And once you are having unnecessary activities in the body, what is going to happen? It is going to subside, it is going to reduce your internal activities. इंटरनल एक्टिविटीज तो पहले पे कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन पास हुई थी ब्रेन के अंदर, वो अब इंफॉर्मेशन सप्रेस होने लगी, वो इंफॉर्मेशन रिलीज होने लगी, and it is keep on happening, reduction is happening, दो only selective information. तो ब्रेन पहले क्या था, unnecessary बातों पे बहुत उलझा हुआ रहता था. Now after meditation, only selective information which is given. This is the beauty of meditation, which we observed in the study. And it was published in one of the best journals, whether it is the International Journal of Neuroscience, Psychological Report, or Indian Journal of Medical Research. This is from ICMR. And if you look at the neurophysiological changes, the recruitment of more neurons, what do you mean by that? इसका मतलब है ज़्यादा neurons recruit हुए after meditation. क्यों? क्योंकि meditation के टाइम पर सारे unnecessary information was suppressed. जो पहले neurons engaged थे सारी information निकालने के लिए, वो सारे relax हो गए during meditation. और फिर उसके बाद किसी ने कोई चीज को काम किया तो all the neurons comes together, सारे neurons एक साथ मिल करके they process the information to perform the task. और आपको पता है जब सारे neurons एक साथ काम करेंगे तो आपकी efficiency अपने आप बढ़ जाती है. इसी को बोलते हैं recruitment of more neurons. तो आपको कम समय में ज़्यादा काम कर सकते हैं. इसी को बोलते हैं shorter latency. Latency मतलब प्रोसेसिंग स्पीड आपकी बढ़ गई, जो पहले 10 सेकंड में काम कर रहे थे अब वो 7 सेकंड में 6 सेकंड में काम कर आपका प्रोसेसिंग हो गया. तो इट मींस मेडिटेशन enhances our ability, and this study was conducted by ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, in 2008, where we have studied even sleep. So this is the autonomic function we have assessed. Same in meditation. In focused attention, when people are reading the books, listening to music, how does it affect the physiology? And when people are in random state of mind, and what we observe, our internal systems in focused state, heart rate was increased. But once they go into the state of meditation, the heart rate was reduced. The sympathetic arousal was reduced. The parasympathetic arousal was active. That's what the observation we have found. And this is one of the entire outcome of the study of brainstem, midbrain and cerebrum. How information is processing and which are the regions involved, whether it is the inferior collicular region, medial geniculate, medial cephalic, superior temporal gyrus, primary auditory cortex. अब क्या होगा, कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन जब जाती है हमारे ब्रेन में तो वो बाहर सेंसरी इनपुट से ही जाएगी. हमने यहाँ पर ऑडिटरी सिग्नल्स दिए, राइट नाउ यू आर लिसनिंग मी. हाउ यू आर लिसनिंग मी? नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ ईयर. इवन एक व्यक्ति सुन नहीं सकता उसके पास भी ईयर होते हैं, बट हाउ योर nerve impulses are processing information, how much you are active. So your ears, even sometimes अगर आपका कई बार अगर व्यक्ति स्वस्थ है लेकिन तनाव में आपने कुछ बोला तो कुछ सुनाई भी नहीं देगा कि आपने क्या बोला. आपको सिर्फ बाद में पूछे कि मैंने क्या बोला था. You don't realize. It means information is not bound to the ear. It's a awareness. तो ये awareness कहाँ से? यहाँ cochlear nerve stimulate करके हम लोग क्या करते हैं यहाँ पर? They reach the auditory stimulation, and it goes from the brainstem to the midbrain, and midbrain में thalamic region है, thalamus. Thalamus is known as the relay station. वो thalamus क्या करता है? वो पहले meditation से पहले वो कोई भी information process करता था, लेकिन now after meditation it knows which information is relevant to you. It puts some kind of break. It slows down, it suppresses down the unnecessary information. That's what we can found You can find here the information. And similarly, the information was moved at the heart. एक बार उस हाथ से निकल गए, the information takes really less time to reach to the cortex and able to perform better. And it is a study we have shown here, whether it is a Brahma Kumari meditation, or meditation, effortless meditation or dhyana meditation, supine rest, when people are just taking the rest, how the information is processed. And we have found that meditation develops such kind of internal potentials in the brain, neurophysiologically. So same thing we have found with the attention. P300 means अगर आप मेरी बात को सुन रहे हैं तो इसको सुनने के लिए ब्रेन ऑडिटरी से जाता है हमारे सोमर सेंसरी पाथवे से और फिर यहाँ से आता है प्रीफ्रंटल कॉर्टेक्स जहाँ पर हमें समझ में आता है कि मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. तो इतना इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोसेसिंग में 300 मिलीसेकंड लगते हैं हमारे ब्रेन को उस इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोसेस करने के लिए. हमने देखा जब व्यक्ति अलग अलग स्टेट में था, सुपाइन रेस्ट, साइक्लिक मेडिटेशन, defocus meditation, meditative focusing, non-meditative focusing and random thinking. तो हमने ये देखा कि before and after. तो अगर आप random thinking देखेंगे तो before the information going in 300 milliseconds, after random thinking, after चंचलता, we have given them, we induce this state of random thinking, and after the random thinking we have observed the information got delays. वो जो 330 मिलीसेकंड की आई थी वो 340 मिलीसेकंड में जा गई और इंफॉर्मेशन डिले हो गया बिकॉज न्यूरॉन्स वर एंगेज्ड इन डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ एक्टिविटीज टू प्रोसेस. ये इज नॉन मेडिटेटिव फोकसिंग, एकाग्रता स्टेट में हल्का सा इंप्रूवमेंट आ गया. दैट्स नॉट वेरी मच बट स्टिल वाज डिलेड, प्रोसेसिंग वाज डिलेड. बट इन केस ऑफ धारणा, इफ यू लुक एट दिस वन ग्राफ, धारणा एंड ध्यान, the information was quicker. Before and after meditation, it was quicker. It means the brain was processing very quickly to process the information. And these all are published papers, published in Clinical EEG Neuroscience, International Journal of Psychophysiology, and International Journal of Neuroscience. And we observed cyclic meditation showed much better impact. So, how much it was, and after how much reduction happened. It means after cyclic meditation, after meditative focusing, after supine rest, there was significant reduction in the latency. It means the information was processed quickly. Similarly, the amplitude in Vipassana meditation, cyclic meditation, supine rest, even refocus meditation, where it was reduced, amplitude, what it suggests, generally अगर आप देखेंगे तो ये जो वेवफॉर्म है, amplitude suggests to neural efficiency. How many neurons are recruited? So more neurons recruitment happen during meditative focusing, defocusing मतलब ध्यान, धारणा, ध्यान, in cyclic meditation, vipassana meditation. More number of neurons come together and then they process information. This was wonderful study done by S. Vyasa. Similarly, if you look at the fMRI regions, कि क्या होता है meditation में, we found that some of the specific regions in the brain got activation, like a middle temporal gyrus, which is associated with inputting information, and serious cerebral cortex, analyzing and responding something, maintaining the attention level, it was also increased. Dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, working memory got better. How the efficiently it is moving the information one through next level. So entire cortex, cerebrum got activated once people are reaching to the higher states of mind or meditative state. If you look at the sleep also, sleep is very good. अगर आप देखेंगे तो sleep is one of the major issues among the stressful people, among the suicidal ideation people, among the poor mental health people, among the people who are having the deformity in the body. Sleep is the worst thing among them. तो बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं डिबेट्स को स्लीप क्वेश्चन इन्वेंटरी है जिसको यूज करके भी आप कर सकते हैं. इस स्टडी में पॉलीसोमनोग्राफी मशीन यूज हुई थी. पॉलीसोमनोग्राफी में पॉली मतलब बहुत सारे पैरामीटर्स दिए गए जैसे ईसीजी, रेस्पिरेशन, मूवमेंट, टेम्परेचर, ईईजी, पल्स ऑक्सीमीटर, ये सारे पैरामीटर्स दिए गए हैं. और व्यक्ति को पहले एडवर्टाइज किया गया लैब में एंड देन वी कलेक्टेड द डेटा एंड व्हाट वी ऑब्जर्व. तो हमें ये लैब अलग अलग जगह पर बनाई. हम ईशा फाउंडेशन में अपनी स्पीड लैब को डेवलप किया और वहाँ पर जो लॉन्ग टर्म मेडिटेटर्स थे 8 साल 10 साल से मेडिटेशन करते हैं उनके साथ कैलकुलेशन किया. देन वी वेंट टू द पिरामिड वैली, collected data on pyramid meditators. We looked at the cyclic meditators, home meditators, and what we found, sleep में अलग अलग स्टेज होती है. REM sleep होता है और नॉन REM sleep है. REM sleep is a rapid eye movement sleep, random eye movement sleep. इसके बाद नॉन रैंडम आई sleep और नॉन रैपिड आई sleep. क्या हुआ जब मेडिटेशन के ऊपर हमने स्टडी करी तो देखा कि they have a deeper percentage of deep sleep. As soon as they hit it back, immediately they get to the sleep. Whereas normal people, उनको 30 से 35 मिनट लगा अपनी स्लीप को कंप्लीट करने में. They were able to reduce the REM sleep. Micro arousals was less. Even autonomic sympathetic tone was less. And objectively and subjectively, the sleep quality was better. Actually, in sleep also we feel, those who are non-meditators, they reported they were having long duration of dream sleep. जो meditators थे, they could exactly get to the deep sleep state. Therefore, they sleep around 3 to 4 hours. तो meditators जो long-term meditators थे, वो 4 से 5 घंटे ज़्यादा ऊपर नहीं सोते थे. And they are very active whole day. Why? Because they spend good amount of time in deep sleep. And you don't believe, in deep sleep, your memory consolidation happens. जो long-term memory में जो information आती है, जो long-term storage होता है, long-term memory develop होती है, वो deep sleep में ही होती है. वो ड्रीम स्लीप में होती भी नहीं है ना, वो शॉर्ट टर्म स्लीप में होती. तो इसलिए स्लीप इज हैविंग देयर ओन फेनोमेनन. अब आदमी 8 घंटे सोता है, 10 घंटे सोता है, तो और सुबह उठते वो फिर भी लेथार्जी फील करता है, टायर्ड फील करता है, सोता घंटे और सो जाता है. क्यों? बिकॉज बॉडी कुड नॉट एबल टू रीच टू द डीपर स्टेट ऑफ रिलैक्सेशन. इट कुड नॉट एबल टू रीच टू द स्टेट ऑफ डीप स्लीप. तो वो स्टेट पहुंचता ही नहीं व्यक्ति, वो सिर्फ सुपरफिशियल स्लीप से वापस आता है. तो माइक्रो अराउजल्स बढ़ जाते हैं उनके अंदर. एंड वी हैव पब्लिश्ड ऑल दीस पेपर्स इन गुड जर्नल्स. देन वन मोर स्टडी वाज डन इन एस व्यासा, which was funded by BSTCSIR, where we have looked at how this yoga practice increases our activities in the body, in the mind. And similarly, we have seen that meditation improves your cerebral blood flow. This is one of the study where it shows the extreme condition, how body is impacted, how our genes are expressing when people are practicing in extreme condition like Antarctica. So this is one of the study we have done in collaboration with DRDO. और वहाँ पर क्या होता है कि वहाँ पर एक्सट्रीम कंडीशन की वजह से उनको बहुत सारा, क्योंकि वहाँ पर ऑक्सीजन लेवल भी बहुत लेस होता है, तो दे फील साइकोलॉजिकल डिस्टर्बेंसेस, पुअर क्वालिटी ऑफ स्लीप, मेंटल लेथार्जी, इवन द बॉडी गेट्स सो मच प्रॉब्लम्स, ओबेसिटी, sleeplessness, anger. So what happened, we have started giving them yoga in Antarctica, and after yoga practice they were able to perform better, they were able to sleep better, their hunger was maintained. They could able to, because hunger is also was gone in the extreme condition, because we have lack of oxygen, they could also not able to digest. So इस तरह से कई बार ऐसे बहुत सारी स्टडीज impact of yoga on memory, hydrodynamic responses, attention, perception. So this is one of the study which was done on cerebral oxygen at prefrontal cortex when you do right nostril breathing, left nostril breathing, or breath awareness. And we observed the increased oxygenation in alternate nostril by being very focused, whereas defocused or some more active regions got activities in right nostril breathing. Same oxygenation was better in the complex tasks than the non-complex tasks. Like that, we have number of studies we have shown that yoga practices are really helping our internal system. Now, because time is really less, one of the studies which was done on diabetes, that diabetes people are also very much prone towards the cognitive impairment. And what we observed after regular practice of yoga, they were able to improve their mindfulness, they were able to improve their responses and they would be able to perform better after intervention. So this is some of the study we have done on different places. And if you look at the overall regulation of yoga practice, posture, breathing, relaxation, meditation, this is the overall summary of entire activity. Time is less, just I'm going to wind up my presentation. If you look at the fitness, improve the flexibility, it is improving the strength, coordination. Even if you look at the previous slide, it's talking about the dexterity, your motor coordination, eye-hand coordination, the minute muscles, the shakiness of your hand can be reduced by just practicing of yoga. And optical illusion, if you look at these studies, they have done studies on pilot or railway drivers, and they have demonstrated a positive effect of yoga. So if you look at the entire fitness is improving, self-regulation, resilience, equanimity, sense of self-efficacy, it's improved. It also improves your awareness and spiritual component. The spiritual component is a byproduct of yoga practice, because it is improving your mindfulness, your awareness, it is transforming from one state of mind to another state of mind. And it's completely giving you a holistic or global perspective, global human functionality of the internal system. And so entire summary of this presentation, and also the entire Ashtanga Yoga, how it is impacting your different systems, different neurotransmitters, different people are talking about the neuroplasticity, which people are working on. The yoga practices increases the BDNF secretion. If you look at BDNF is a brain drive neurotransmitter factor. And if you look at the research today, आज हम जो भी रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, कल को ये हम इसको कन्वर्ट करें इनोवेटिव आइडियाज के ऊपर, and how we can make life easy, how we can reduce the chances of people getting diabetic. So we have to prevent them. So how to prevent them? Curing is the last portion. But before curing, we have to prevent. We have to maintain the good health. So first we have to practice ourselves, develop the evidence, and then convert the innovative ideas, innovative methods to put in their daily life. आप देख सकते हैं बहुत सारे innovative gadgets are available, and those gadgets are really very much helpful. So this is I got the time in 2015. Now we can have the question answer if you have, and if you have any request regarding the research, you can share with us. Thank you so much.
Yes, Paul, if you have any kind of question, you can raise it back. Yes, Pramod.
There are so many studies can be done. आपके पास बहुत सारे studies करने के क्वेश्चन होते हैं, please.
नमस्कार सर, मेरा नाम प्रमोद कुमार है और मैं एम.फिल किया हूँ डब्ल्यूसी योगा यूनिवर्सिटी से। एम.फिल में मेरा रिसर्च था श्रीमद् भगवद गीता में कर्मयोग, ध्यान योग और भक्ति योग के आधार में। तो चूँकि गीता को पढ़ना था और गीता के बारे में समझना था, तो एक ध्यान का पोर्शन छूट रहा था। तो अभी पीएचडी में हमने सेलेक्ट किया है कि भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा में
हेलो really sorry, this somewhere of laptop के पास
आप यहाँ लैपटॉप के पास आ जाइए।
हेलो
नहीं, वहाँ से वो स्पीकर में नहीं जाएगा, आप यहाँ।
हाँ, यहाँ पर आप क्या आवाज दे रहा है?
जी
और जो योग ट्रेनिंग है उसके आलोक में इससे वो कंप्लीट क्लासिकल है, तो अगर आपकी तरफ
जी बहुत बढ़िया। मैं अप्रिशिएट करता हूँ कि बिकॉज लिटरेरी रिसर्च इज वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट। अगर आप देखेंगे तो लिटरेरी रिसर्च करना बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है कई बार, क्योंकि अब हम जो जैसे कि आप काम कर रहे हैं भगवत गीता के ऊपर, और आप उसकी अवधारणा हमारे जीवन को चेंज करने के लिए, मैं तो यही कहूँगा कि कोई भी अगर आप लिटरेरी रिसर्च कर रहे हैं तो सबसे पहले अपना एक फ्रेमवर्क तैयार कीजिए, एक मॉडल क्रिएट कीजिए। कई बार हम उस फिलॉसफी में बहुत कुछ लिखा हुआ है, आप देखिए भगवत गीता में इतने सारे इंटरप्रिटेशन है, आप किसी भी एरिया को उठा के लीजिए, लोगों ने बहुत डिटेल डिफाइन रखा हुआ है। कई सारे डिस्क्रिप्शंस हैं, कई सारे ट्रांसलेशंस हैं, कई सारे इंटरप्रिटेशंस हैं, लेकिन हाउ योर रिसर्च इज गोइंग टू यूनिक contribute, how your contribution is going to be different, how it is going to, how to evaluate। तो आपको जब भी कोई टॉपिक बनाइए लिटरेरी रिसर्च में, सबसे पहले फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल क्या है, आपका रिसर्च क्वेश्चन क्या है, जो जरूरी है, व्हाट इज द रिसर्च क्वेश्चन। अगर आप भगवत गीता भी यूज करना चाहते हैं तो क्या ये आपका काम हुआ नहीं है, अगर नहीं हुआ है तो किस तरह से इसको हम इवैल्यूएट करें, हाउ वी कैन इम्प्लीमेंट इन दिस सोसाइटी। क्योंकि भगवत गीता में सभी कुछ लिखा हुआ है, आप देखते हैं शास्त्र में सभी कुछ लिखा हुआ है, लेकिन वी डोंट हैव ट्रांसलेशनल नॉलेज कि उसको हम सोसाइटी के अंदर कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट करें, हाउ द सोसाइटी विल गेट बेनिफिट फ्रॉम योर रिसर्च वर्क, हाउ टू इवैल्यूएट योर मॉडल, योर फ्रेमवर्क, हम उसको कैसे मापन करें उस मॉडल का जो आप अपने पीएचडी में बना रहे हैं। इसके बिना पीएचडी का कोई मतलब नहीं आ जाएगा। अगर हम सिर्फ कंपाइलेशन कर रहे हैं, हम सिर्फ अपनी बातों को उसमें डालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं नए डिस्क्रिप्शन के साथ में, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी यूजफुल फॉर द सोसाइटी। वो एक हार्ड बाउंड थीसिस की तरह बन जाती है, एक और थीसिस ऐड हो जाती है उसमें। उसकी बजाय हम उसके इवैल्यूएशन, उसके असेसमेंट मेथड को भी देखें कि कल को हम उसको That's what the motto of doing the literature research। अगर हम आज एक्सपेरिमेंटल वर्क कर रहे हैं, कि सारे एक्सपेरिमेंटल वर्क उसी लिटरेचर का पार्ट है। तो मेरा कहा सेशन यही होगा कि आप उसकी इवैल्यूएशन प्रोसेस को भी समझिए कि हम उसको एसेस कैसे करेंगे, उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कैसे करेंगे सोसाइटी के अंदर, और कैसे उसका मापन करेंगे। अगर आप चेंजेस सोचते हैं समाज में चेंजेस आएगा, तो हम उसको चेक करें कि भाई वो चेंजेस आ भी रहा मॉडल से, मेरे फ्रेमवर्क से, मेरी थीसिस से, या नहीं आ रहा, तो वो सिर्फ एक कंपाइलेशन करेगा और कुछ करेगा।
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Very good question. Actually, these are the different states of consciousness. तो इस स्टडी में हमने क्या किया, इस स्टडी में इंड्यूस किया था लैबोरेटरी के अंदर ये कंडीशन, जैसे रैंडम थिंकिंग स्टेट को अगर हमें इंड्यूस करना, तो क्या करते हैं, अनकनेक्टेड थॉट्स होते थे, उसमें कोई लेक्चर चल रहा है, बीच में कोई अदर साउंड आ रहा है, so we have created in the laboratory unconnected thoughts, so your brain will not get into one state. So we have recorded, we have standardized, and then we have implemented this study. It was a 20-minute audio which was created, takes your brain to that particular state of randomness. randomness पे पहुंचा, इसीलिए हमारे पास ज़्यादा सैंपल होते हैं, हम ज़्यादा सैंपल्स पे 60 सैंपल पे काम करते हैं, एक या दो या तीन में ही पहुंच सकते हैं, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं कि हर कोई रैंडम स्टेट पे नहीं पहुंचेगा। उसी तरह हमने क्या किया था कि साइक्लिंग मेडिटेशन के इंस्ट्रक्शंस उसको कंपाइल करके हमने वो दिए थे, तो वो ब्रेन जो था ना, वो एकाग्रता में क्या होता है, लॉट ऑफ थॉट्स इन वन डायरेक्शन, वन ऑब्जेक्ट, वन टॉपिक, यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ थॉट्स लाइक लिसनिंग वन म्यूजिक, you keep on changing the words but the flow is going to be same, your brain is going to be in one flow। तो जब हमने एकाग्रता स्टेट को इंड्यूस किया, उसमें हमने साइक्लिंग मेडिटेशन के इंस्ट्रक्शंस को बजाया और उसको विजुलाइज करके बोला कि नाउ यू हैव टू विजुलाइज द एक्सपीरियंस, साइक्लिंग मेडिटेशन के इंस्ट्रक्शंस को, लाइक वी आर रीडिंग द बुक इन एकाग्रता स्टेट, and we so reading book is also similar to the listening one some instructions, so we induce that state। धारणा स्टेट के लिए हमने फोकस्ड अटेंशन डेवलप। तो let us continue with the धारणा। तो धारणा स्टेट में हमने क्या किया कि ओम जो सिलेबल था उस ओम सिलेबल के ऊपर इमेजिनेशन कराया। Then we have taken the structure of Om,